You know that amazing feeling of getting back on the water that you're most familiar with? You know every corner, you know every bank, every drop off, every rock, the smells you're familiar with, the sounds. I'm there right now. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Got lots of birds fishing in the area, so I know there's fish around. I just haven't been back here in a while, and I don't know what the fish are biting on. So I'm familiar with the lake. I know the patterns that are generally associated. So what I'm doing is I'm just systematically going down the shoreline, swapping out baits. You know, there's baits I really want to catch fish on. And then there's the baits that I know consistently I should be able to catch fish on. Here at Lake Hodges, one of my favorite things is cranking. Wanted to get some topwater, but if I can get them on the crankbait reaction, I will not complain. Using that Rapala DT-10 right now, getting it down and bumping the bottom. Now, one thing about Lake Hodges, it doesn't have much plant life in the lake itself. So it's a really good lake for crankbait fishing, because you're not going to get stuck in all the gook down below. When I was at Barrett, I really wanted to get a crankbite, but there's a lot of gook, so I'm working through the area from top to bottom with that water column. Doing top water, and I threw some jerk baits. Now I'm throwing cranks, and eventually I'll go into the finesse baits. I've got a jig and I've got a small lizard put on. I'm fan casting from shore out just to find out where those fish are hanging. There's something. Man, this thing wanted this bait. Swallow. That DT-10 is gone. There's a nice fish to start the day. At Lake Hodges. Bass the same color as the water. About 2 pounds, awesome. Got a big fray on that. Here's that bait, DT-10. Means it dives to 10 feet. And these are all balsa wood, so they're gonna float back up. I'm throwing this 10-pound, or DT-10 on 10-pound test. That's something you have to remember with crankbaits. The thicker the line, the bait will not go down as far. So the less resistance it has, it's gonna be diving a little bit deeper. So excited, that was awesome. Just what I wanted. Just that hit the bottom, let it stop. Grind it over the rocks. You can see the tip of the rod is bumping along that bottom. Bump, 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 bump. And let it pause, let it float up just a little bit. Now you can see I'm snagged on something. Now if you've got one of the floating baits, just let it sit for a second. A lot of times, see, it just got itself out. So you don't have to like yank, 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 yank. Just let it go. It'll come right out. There we go. Oh, it came off. Darn it. Came over that rock, just got thumped. And where am I choosing to fish? Well, there's a saying, as above, so below. So if you see what's on the shoreline, that's generally gonna follow the contour out into the lake. So you can see there's a little point, a rock point there. You can see there's a little rock point there. So there's gonna be a dip in between. I'm gonna expect to come up. Oh, snagged. See, came right off. I expect there's gonna be some rock kind of things that are higher. And a lot of times the bass will sit right on those rock edges. I'm right in about 9 feet deep right now. That's perfect because I've got a DT-10, so it's gonna dive to 10 feet. But when you're doing this, check your line regularly for frays. And now taking a bunch of casts. So I've come through with the reaction bait. Now before I leave, I always want to throw back with a little finesse bait or a big finesse bait. Just heard something right there. I threw back to it and got thumped. Right. There we go. So went through another similar 2-pound chunky fish. Right. So I went through with that crankbait. Wasn't getting any more bites. Went back with the lizard. Saw a little movement in the water on the shoreline. You guys might have heard that. Threw it and immediately got bit. And this is immediately got bit. And this is just a little 4-inch green pumpkin lizard that I poured on a 16th ounce bullet head. Nice. That was on 8-pound test. Speaking of knowing your water, you know, here on Lake Hodges, don't ever be afraid to cast basically right on shore. Right on shore. Now move down a little bit. Hopefully the crankbait's still working. Love all the birds here. Love it. So again, I'm snagged. I'll let it just release. Still snagged. So if that happens, I'll show you the next trick. So still snagged. If you're in a boat, kayak, or float tube and you can get to the other side of the bait, just pull it out the other direction. Comes right out. That felt like a hit, like something missed it. And over time, you'll get used to what the feeling of those baits underwater should feel like when they're hitting sand or mud, when they're hitting rocks or sticks, or if it's a fish. There's some. They're right. Man, these things are just swallowing this. Swallowing it. All right, smaller one, but still fun. I'm fishing this on the Shimano Metanium DC, which I've been talking about a bunch. And I had somebody ask me, is this my favorite bait caster ever? Absolutely, yeah. One of the things, it's got all the controls on the outside with the Antares. You have to open up a side plate. It's smaller. I wouldn't use more than 12-pound test. But never fatigues my hand. Casts like a dream. The DC braking ability. I've got this paired a light, medium, heavy, or pardon me, medium light, 7-foot Z-bone rod from Kistler, 6 to 10 pound test. I can also say the Z-bone rods from Kistler are the best rods I've ever heard. I like all their rods. I've tried the Helium series. I've tried the Nitranium series. Got the World Travel series. But the Z-bone is absolutely my favorite. Sensitivity, and it just is so light. Plus I like the black and maroon. Another. Loving this DT-10. Here we go. I know you guys know I've had net issues, losing nets or whatever. I found this one on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. This one came, it's funny, it's a little bit discolored, but I love the rubber and the bigger holes. One, it's nice for the fish, but two, it's just easy to get those treble hooks out of. When it's the super fine mesh, it can be a lot more challenging. There we go. Guess we got to get through all the smaller fish before we can get the bigger ones. I am not complaining. Another. Money all day long. I love jig fishing. You guys all know that. One of the things I love about the jig fishing is I love just laying home that jig in the hook set. Crankbait fishing, you don't do that. Continue to reel, kind of load the rod as the fish bites. You don't want to tear that crank out of its mouth. Seems like most of the fish have been in that 4 to 8 feet of water. Look at that one that I got on the lizard, which was right on the shore. Plus the Metanium makes a cool sound when you cast it. All the DC reels do. Oh, just missed something sideswiped it. Feel that. Brrr. A lot of times they'll come up and they'll sideswipe or tail slap it. And I've caught fish as big as 8 pounds on cranks that have done that. I've fished this area pretty thoroughly with the crankbait. Now I'm gonna just come back through with a jig. Throw that a few casts just to see if there's any love left before I move on. We know there's fish in the area because we caught them. Move down to a 3/16, not the bitsy bug, but that VMC jig. Oh. That's literally the first cast. I'm snagged on something. Oh, darn. Oh, it came out. All right. I was saying that VMC jig that I used at Barrett that I didn't like because it grabbed all the gook went down from the 1/4 ounce bitsy bug down to the 3/16 because I wasn't getting bit. First cast. Nice. A little better fish too. This one's 2.6. Sorry, 2.52. That was off. There we go. Lighter jig. That's the VMC Finesse. I just literally pulled it out of the box. And I paired that with the black and blue of the Berkley 3-inch Pit Boss. So again, it's not that I didn't like the jig. I didn't like the jig for that application. This has got the light wire weed guard, and it's got that prong on the shaft of the hook to hold the bait, although that bait just came off. Sweet. Always fun getting things on new baits. But again, through with the crankbait and then back with the finesse. I'm gonna bring you guys a beverage. I'm gonna bring me a beverage too. That beverage is from Boulevard Brewing Company, the Dark Truth Imperial Stout. Saw this yesterday at Total Wine. Just went in to grab something really quick and went, oh, I'll try that. Never had this, got the eyeball on the front. Boulevard is out of Kansas City, Missouri. 9.7% ABV, 40 IBUs. It's the International Bitterness Units. Before I do anything else, I'm putting my keys back in my pocket. Very dangerous doing that, but you know, we're living dangerously, aren't we? So, crack it, and immediately got the smell of the roasted malt. Not so much coffee, just that roasted malt smell. It's almost like a chocolatey barley smell. Chocolate grape nuts? Maybe. Maybe. I love grape nuts. The flavor, it's rich, it's bitter. It is just straight up an Imperial Stout, so no adjuncts, no added flavors, added, bourbon barrel aged or anything. Dark and malty, rich and bitter. That's really just a nice stout. I want to make another one of those, what did I call it? Where I mix the Bloody Mary, the Cutwater Bloody Mary with the stout. Yeah, Imperial Mary. There we go. Call it that for now. If you haven't tried that, guys, if you like stouts, if you like Bloody Marys, if you like a Michelada, an Imperial Stout mixed with a Cutwater Margarita, it may not seem like it works. It's so good. But try this. Boulevard Brewing Company, Dark Truth. What is the Dark Truth? We're catching fish on crankbaits. That's fun. Yum. I was gonna say the bite slowed down, but get on that black and blue VMC jig with the Pit Boss trailer. Nice. Now, it's so funny because I'm sitting here lost in my thoughts, thinking about things I can explain to you guys and stuff. And one of the things I was literally just thinking about was the different types of strikes on a jig or a plastic worm or a lizard or something. There's mainly like 3 or 4 different kinds of strikes. One is your bait is sitting on the ground, you see your rod tip, you see your line, and you feel that thump. I mean, it's a very distinct snap or thump. And you know absolutely there's a fish. Then there is the mushy pressure bite. Mushy pressure meaning I'm pulling up, I feel there's resistance on the line, but it feels kind of like it's moving at the same time, not like it's snagged. And that can be one of the hardest ones to figure out. And just remember, swings are free. After that is the, why is my line going that direction? And that's exactly what that bite was, where I cast it out, I'm thinking about all these things, and then my line starts going out this direction. I didn't really feel a strike, I just realized my line's not where it should be. So, if you got other types, you know, let me know. That's funny. See if we can get examples of the other ones. The one earlier with the jig was a definite thump, where as soon as it hit the water and started sinking, I felt the line tick, I saw the line jump, definitely knew it was a hit. Pulling my jig across these rocks. Again, this VMC jig tends to dig a little bit more than I like on the Bitsy Bug. It's not bad, but as long as there's no real heavy cover or things for it to get really stuck in, or the muck, I think it'll be good, especially on this cobbly stuff. Come on, fish, you gotta give me a mushy bite so I can show everybody. Now I know for a fact off this little point right here there is a snag. I have to be very careful. But if there's a snag there, that also means there's probably fish, because there's structure. All right, I got a beverage for you guys. From Lost Abbey. I love Lost Abbey, and I don't do them nearly enough. We've got Moral Codes, the Saints and Sinners inspired ale series. Now, I got to redo one of their Saints and Sinners inspired ale series that I had with Dave, but there was a recording glitch, for lack of a better phrase. This is a West Coast double IPA, 8.5 ABV, inspired ale series. The world is full of great hoppy beers. Moral Codes was designed to deliver an amazing hop profile featuring tons of Simcoe and Centennial resins. We crafted this double IPA with sticky citrus and piney notes on our mind. Moral Codes isn't about deep conversation regarding right and wrong. It's mostly about the righteous use of two amazing hops that produce an awesome flavor experience. Columbus, Cascade, Mosaic, Centennial, and Simcoe. I got this at Total Wine also. Lost Abbey's out of San Marcos. Crack it and attack it. Pine, citrus. By citrus, it's more of like a grapefruit, like a not bright and sweet, but more acidic. And you taste that, and that is West Coast through and through. It is bitter, it is resinous, it is piney. Yum, exactly what I was looking for. If you don't like those flavors, that's okay, don't buy this beer. If you love bitter and resinous, then buy this beer. This is great. And go to the brewery, have a drink over there. There's some of the things that used to be bottled that they only do on tap now. Shark Attack is one of those that where they do it occasionally. Oh, miss Shark Attack. Yum. Exactly what I was looking for. Now a big fish to go with the big beer. Right down this line. Oh, there we go. Hammered. Feels like a better fish. We'll see. On the jig. Not bad, not bad. Number 3 on the jig. I do feel very blessed being out here. You know, I was talking with Rick out here on the lake today, and thanks for all the kind words, Rick. It's just nice being out here. It's just awesome being in nature, doing what we love to do. I love sharing the experiences with you guys and all the positive feedback. I really appreciate it. Well, guys, I'm almost done. A really fun day out here. I just want to get that one last bite or two. But we figured it out. Got the fish on the cranks, got the fish on the finesse. So awesome. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share it with a friend if you can. And I'll see you guys in the water. Let's get another bite. Come on. 1 or 2 more bites.